So, Wholeness and Light. Today is Tuesday, June the 30th, 2026. And we are not only in the energy of Mercury in retrograde, but we're also in the energy of the strawberry full moon. So, if you know anything about the strawberry full moon, it's a time where a lot of people experience fatigue for good reason. Fatigue in order for us to sit down, calm down, and relax, and to reevaluate things. When you're out here and you're lifting weights, you're doing calisthenics, you're building muscles, you're contracting the muscle. But at a certain point in time, you got to have those rest days in order to allow the muscles to relax so that they can expand, so that they can grow. It's just like with a woman. She goes through the contractions, but at a certain point in time, in order to bring the child out the womb and into the earth, she has to expand the womb in order to allow that child to come out and have a physical life, a physical existence on this earth. Well, all this dealing with the topic of today, semen retention and the chakras. I've been watching a lot of videos, reading some material. You all see the books in the back, and I've been absorbing a lot of information. And because I'm on a certain amount of days of semen retention, the light bulb is slowly buzzing back on. You know, I used to pull that chain when I wasn't on semen retention, and it just wouldn't click on. It wouldn't come on. You know, I took the bulb out, I retwisted it, and I looked at the warranty and the date and all that. Everything was good with that, but it just wouldn't come on. It takes a certain amount of semen retention for that bulb to start coming on again, and I'm on that amount of days. So, energy within the body, particularly the male body, because we're speaking about semen retention. That energy, it can travel up or it can travel down. When it travels down, it's sexual energy. Self-explanatory, our sexual organs are below. But when it travels up, it's spiritual energy. And that energy activates everything from the heart chakra above in order for us to bring something that's not a child into this world. When it goes down below, we can bring a child into this world. Or we can just waste that energy doing sexual activity. But when it travels up, we can bring into fruition what we're trying to manifest onto this earth plane. You might want a new car. You might want a new house. You might want a new mind state. You might want to learn how the market works. You might want to learn how to figure out, how can I win the lottery? When you allow that energy to travel up, you can figure them things out more. But here's the thing, a lot of us get stuck not knowing exactly what sex energy transmutation is. Like I said, this is all energy. But the energy can travel up and be spiritual, or it can go down and it can become sexual, right? It's going to come out one way or the other. Sex energy transmutation is when you allow that energy to travel up from the root chakra all the way up to the crown chakra, and for your chakras to be aligned. That's what sex energy transmutation is. Not allowing it to go down to be used simply to make a child or to be wasted in lustful sexual activities. But how do we do that? You see, when you're dealing with the root chakra, number one, the root chakra is dealing with the root, which is first and foremost dealing with a seed. So in order to stay on top of the root chakra and not allow the sexual energy to be wasted at the root chakra, you have to start writing things down, your plans and your goals. You have to plant that seed, and then you have to get up off your ass. This is a mirror, I'm speaking to myself as well. And you have to start putting in the leg work. You got to start putting your feet in the dirt, and you got to get your feet moving. You got to start doing what it is that you weren't doing. And I'm going to speak about that in a minute, because the reason why we don't do a lot of things we want to do is out of fear. The next chakra is the sacral chakra. In order to master the sacral chakra and not allow it to take the energy and waste it, right? Physical activity. It says it in the Bible. If a man don't work, he don't eat. Man was, after the fall of humanity, was said that he has to work the land, to till the land, to cultivate the land, right? Excavate the land. And it's the reason why us as men, we have more muscle than women. We're stronger than women, typically. I know some of you boys, they say skip leg day. Women got some strong legs because they got to bear children and whatnot. But anyway, that's how you stay on top of the sex chakra, the sacral chakra, by getting physically active, very physically active. You might want to work up a sweat 3, 4, 5 times a day. Work out 2, 3 times a day if you need to, if you have to. But you gotta start conditioning your body relentlessly. Now, the next chakra is the solar plexus, which is right behind the stomach, right? So now you got all your goals and your plans written down, and you're starting to move. You got your boots on the ground. Now you're becoming physically active through the sacral chakra in order to not waste your sexual energy through the sacral chakra. But now you got to change your diet. You got to perfect your diet. I'm not saying you got to be a vegetarian. I ain't saying you got to be a vegan. I ain't saying you got to be a carnivore. I ain't saying you got to do keto. I ain't saying you got to be a pescatarian. But what I am saying is you got to watch what you eat, because the stomach is right behind the solar plexus chakra. And what you eat, it don't come out, it comes out, it does come out above as well, but we know that it comes out below through excrement, through feces, through urine, all of that stuff. So what you eat, it's going to travel down regardless. And when it travels down, it can affect you by healing what's down below, or it can affect you by activating what's down below, which is going to lead to a relapse on semen retention. So this is where it gets deep. Now we're at the heart chakra, right? And there are many chakras within the body, but these are the main ones. Now we're at the heart chakra. Once you get to the heart chakra, that seed that you planted down at the root level, it's been sprouting up through the other chakras. The seed at the root chakra is sprouted at the root. Then it traveled up through the sacral chakra. It received that energy. And then it traveled up through the solar plexus. It received that energy. Now it's at the heart level. At this point, the heart chakra is a bridge. Remember I said that energy, it can travel up or travel down. This is where it all starts, at the heart. Your desires, your urges, your deep wants, even your needs. This is where that bridge is. And this bridge is going to determine whether or not that energy travels up or if it travels down. What do you want it to do? You want it to travel up. Now, if you're married or something like that, you're young, you want to have children, once you reach this heart chakra area, you can find you a wife and y'all can have children. There's nothing wrong with that sexual energy traveling down for you to have children with your wife. But at a certain point in time, you and your wife get older and you all stop bearing children, having children. You want that energy to travel up versus traveling down. Because like I said, that heart chakra is the bridge between the chakras above, the throat, the third eye, and the crown, and the chakras below. The solar plexus, stomach's right behind it, the sacral, and the root. Now, as I said, the seed that you planted at the root chakra has been traveling up all the way to the heart. And that's why the heart chakra is green. That seed is pretty much becoming a tree, as they say. It's the tree of life within you, right? By the time it gets to the heart chakra, it's now getting them leaves, them green leaves. And once you go up beyond the heart chakra, of course, you start getting the flowers, you start getting the fruits. It's a deep thing, right? So, the heart chakra and the root chakra are closely related, because we weren't doing a lot of things that we wanted to do. We weren't really seeking to achieve and accomplish what we really wanted to do at the root chakra because of fear. The heart chakra, the negative side is fear. The positive side is love. Now that you allow the energy to travel up, you've cultivated an energy of love. You're ready to love now, which is why I said, if you're young and whatnot, you can go find you a wife and have children, right? You've conquered that fear. So all the plans you made at the root chakra level, them plans are now your desires. Those are now your urges. That's now what you want to do, right? If you're doing it in the name of love too as well. versus lust. So because you're doing it in the name of love, the energy is going to continue traveling up. But if you weren't, it'll start traveling down. And that's why so many of us experience relapse on semen retention. Because we keep allowing the energy to travel down versus up. Now, at a certain point, once it goes all the way up to the top, what goes up must come down. But when that spiritual energy comes down, it'll spiritualize the lower chakras. We'll get into that later. But anyway, you're becoming a whole new person at this heart chakra level. You know, your tree is budding, you're getting leaves and everything, and now you're going up to that throat chakra. At this stage, there's so much that I can say on this stage, at the stage, but I'm only gonna say so much because we only got so much time, right? But at this stage, you start speaking things into existence. That's right, you can speak things into existence. I'm gonna give you all one example. I used to be a merchandise manager at Dollar Tree. And some of the best employees are the older employees, because they show up day in, day out. There's no calling in. They show up every day. Way better than the younger employees, right? So one of the older ladies' employees, it was her birthday. And, you know, I was on my break, so I bought a gift card. I was going to put like $20, $25 on it. Now, I did put like $20, $25 on it. And one of the older ladies, she asked me, she was like, "You're going to give her all that money?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to get it back." She was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "I'm going to get this back." You know, the more you give, the more you receive. And I kid you not, after I bought that and I put that $20, $25 on there, mind you, I'm on break. I went outside and probably no more than like 10, 15 steps, I found a $50 bill on the ground. I walked back in, I said, "Look what I just found on the ground." She couldn't believe it. She couldn't believe it. You see what I'm saying? So at this stage, that energy, you're now allowed to speak things into existence. You're now allowed to speak your truth, what you really want to do. So you went from writing things down to speaking them now into existence. Then we travel up to the third eye and the crown chakra, and that light bulb comes on once you get to that third eye. You know what I'm saying? You start getting these epiphanies, you start realizing these ideals, you start seeing things that you didn't see before. You see, but this energy is so strong, it can be tricky. You get on semen retention, you start seeing how beautiful women look around you. I bullshit you not. Like the last couple of days, I've been like, damn, because it's hot. I ain't even gonna get into it, but I've been like, I didn't even know she looked like all that type of stuff, right? But then today, the downloads start coming in. So I can go up or I can go down with this. I can go up, I can go down with this. So in part 2 of this video, I don't know when I'm gonna make it, but I'm going to expand on the heart chakra, the throat chakra, the third eye, and the crown chakra, because I gave a pretty thorough understanding dealing with the lower chakra. But this is mainly like a prelude to all this, because I would like to explain the negative and the positive of each chakra and how that deals with your semen retention. The negative is going to bring that energy down and cause you to relapse. The positive is going to drive it up and cause you to create. See, semen retention is this, and I should have said this at the beginning. Semen retention is taking your semen that you could make a child with and making other physical things, bringing other physical things into this reality. That's what semen retention is taking semen, sperm, that sexual energy that could make a physical child and not making a physical child, but instead bringing other physical manifestations onto this earth plane. That's what semen retention is. Sex energy transmutation is driving that sex energy from the root chakra to the heart chakra and deciding to spiritualize that energy versus letting it go back down and come out through your sexual organs. A lot of times we don't define things. That's what semen retention is, and that's what sex energy transmutation is. Those are one of the things they are, because it gets deeper than that. Because I reckon the people who found out about semen retention just from life, the Most High and all that alone, you're not supposed to ever have sex again once you find that out. Or you're supposed to have your child and your children and then stop. Now for the average person, they can just, have sex for the rest of their life. But if you're trying to build a strong body, you're going to need TRT at a certain point. That's the other video I want to make. TRT versus semen retention. TRT, and this camera make my hair look lopsided. But TRT versus semen retention. If you're on semen retention, truly on semen retention, you don't need TRT. You won't need TRT. You won't need steroids. Semen retention alone is a natural steroid. It's a natural testosterone, not replacement, but retainer. Yeah, testosterone, testosterone retention therapy. That's what semen retention is. So you got testosterone replacement therapy, which comes in from the outside in, and then you got testosterone retention therapy, which is you doing semen retention. And if you do the latter, you will never have to do the former. Don't confuse it, don't mistake it. I'm getting a lot of downloads, man. Just a prelude into the video dealing with the heart chakra and above. In order to sustain the energy being spiritualized, you gotta start reading. Not just books, but you gotta start reading people. You gotta start reading the environment. You gotta start reading the energy. You gotta start reading your own energy. You gotta understand what's going on around you. You gotta understand, you're gonna start getting the epiphanies, but you gotta start seeing the sequence of events that are happening around you. A lot of time, all the time. Things are happening one after the other, then it leads you to a result. A lot of people, they only see the result. They never truly understand until it's too late what led up to those results. Until they start, maybe they in a jail cell or whatever, and they start reflecting like, damn, this whole time I was walking to jail. This whole time I saw her and she was bad for me, but I kept on going. But when you start to spiritualize your energy, you start to pick up on them things. So other things you can do to maintain the suspension of spiritualized energy from the heart chakra upward is, like I said, reading, but also meditation, breath work, mantras, reading scriptures, journaling. And it's all just a spiritual experience. All of it's a spiritual experience, man. From writing your thoughts out, to becoming physically active, to mastering your diet, and so on and so forth. So with all that being said, man, holding some light, live abundance of wealth, true talk for true thoughts. This channel deals with overall health. So I'm allowed to speak on it on this channel and still be speaking on what's relevant. Because what good you do for the mind and the body, you do good for the soul, you do good for the spirit. And vice versa, vice versa, vice versa, vice versa. That's why they got them stars, them 5, 6, 7, whatever point stars. And then you got like a nucleus. Because what you do at this point is going to affect, is going to, at this star, it has like a, what do you call it? It has a parallel. Slanted parallel, horizontal parallel, vertical parallel, all of that, right? An adjacent parallel. So what you do at one point is going to affect the next point. And more than that, what you do at the nucleus of this star, STAR. I speak accent sometimes. What you do with the nucleus of this star affects all the points. So we want this entire star to be vibrant. We want it to light up, and we want it to remain that way. So yeah, that spiritual energy, even though it goes up, it has to come back down. But when it comes down, it's coming down in a dominant way. You know, it's not going to be dominated by the sexual energy. It's going to cleanse the sexual energy, and it's going to make it to where we use the sexual energy for spiritual reasons. Nothing wrong with sexual energy. It just has to be used for spiritual reasons. And I hope I'm not sounding like a hypocrite, because I've used it for non-spiritual reasons plenty of times. But it comes a point in time where you got to stop using it for no reasons. Look, man, this stuff is so deep, and we can speak about it on the feminine level as well for females, but any and everything can be cured. Any disease, if you got an STD, it can be cured from semen retention. If you have heart disease, it can be cured from semen retention. If you got cancer, it can be cured from semen retention. They're not gonna like me saying this. You know, they're gonna say, oh, you can't say that. They're gonna try to put some footnotes and thumbnails and whatever on my video to redirect you to their truth. But the body is self-healing. The body is self-healing. If you like really work out or just lead a very healthy lifestyle for 7 years, really before 7 years, your body, your whatever dis-ease you have can be reversed. After 2019, we're not allowed to talk like this. So I'm talking, you know, this is my old YouTube way of talking. I've had old channels in the past. But we used to be able to freely talk on this tube. Not so much for real anymore. They might bury this down in the algorithm. It's so real. Anyway, man, and ladies and gents, there you have it. Semen retention and the chakras. Part 1. Wholeness in life.